I gotta see what's up with the GOAT of the horror franchises himself, the little guy himself, the killer doll himself, Chucky, bro. I gotta see. I love Chucky, bro. I always love Chucky. I always will. One of my favorite horror movie franchises of all time. My favorite Chucky movie, probably because I'm still youngin', but see the Chucky because of the comedy and the horror into it. And I love Red Man, that movie. That shit was fire. Second favorite, Brother Chucky. The aesthetics. Oh my gosh. The music. Seeing Tiffany for the first time. Fire. Fire. But fucking hate what they did to that character, bro. Threw that doll in the trash, bro. Made. The TV show was good. The TV show, I love the TV show. How they like brought the story back and tried to connect everything. That was cool. But why did they have to end it though? Like, could they just, release some more episodes to me? But no. But apparently we got a new Chucky movie, and that's gonna reset the franchise. Like, gonna reset everything. And we have our boy 3C Films to get us, put us on, man. Talk to us.
I don't care whatever you say. This
I always come back.
will never sound as good as this.
I'll be back.
I always come back. Oh, and he is back indeed, my friends, because for the first time in a very long time, we have an actual official update for the next Chucky movie that'll actually be headed to theaters. A 3C video on a new Chucky movie?
Finally. Freaking finally, bro. A Chucky movie
for the next
at that, a good Chucky movie heading to theaters. Oh my
Chucky
gosh,
movie
this better be
that'll
good.
actually be headed to theaters. A 3C video on a new Chucky movie? What year is it?
I know, right?
I'm getting back into my roots, my friends, and we are going to get into all these details involved with this new Chucky movie because we have it from Don Mancini, the creator himself, about the plans, release, the structure he's wanting to go with, and even calling this one a reset. I'm going to be breaking down all these details along with my theories, wish list, and what I hope comes out of this new Chucky movie, but I don't just want it to be about my opinion. You Chucky fans as well, please give your old Chucky boy your opinions in the
look, I love seeing Andy, bro. I love seeing Andy, bro. But we gotta switch it up. Like, we need a new kid, bro. Come on. We need a good little boy. We need a good 6-year-old that would be terrified and scared and want to run away and all that shit, like Andy did in Child's Play 1.
Comment section about what you want to come out of this new Chucky film, because I'd love to hear it all down below. Okay, so yes, we have known for a while there is supposed to be a new Chucky movie in the works. Heck, last time we heard about this,
I'm also actually in the early stages of working on a new Chucky movie.
And he was getting things together to work on that, and that's kind of the biggest hope fans had for the future of the Murderous Doll, because the TV series got canceled after 3 seasons. And that did end on a terrible, awful, puzzling cliffhanger that some...
I do not like seeing that, bro. I really don't. I just dropped my freaking cart, bro. My weed pen because of that bullshit, bro. Why did they, bro? This ending was so bad. It was so bad. Why this ending was so bad? Every time I look at this photo or watch this scene, I just think to myself, what were they thinking? It was not even that. What was the network thinking, canceling the show with this type of cliffhanger, bro? It was good and bad at the same time. Like, what was the creators thinking of this, and what was the network thinking of canceling this TV show on this cliffhanger, bro? And then even that, the other Child's Play movie with the robot sucked, so they couldn't do that one either. Bro, give my boy Chucky some hope, bro.
had for the future of the murderous doll because the TV series got canceled after 3 seasons. And that did end on a terrible, awful, puzzling cliffhanger that some people wanted to see get concluded, where I'm just always down to see Chucky, even if we end up in weirder spots than we were before. Well, it looks like over the weekend, Don Mancini and Brad Dourif were at a Comic-Con, Steel City Comic-Con, and during a panel when being interviewed about the future of Chucky, he confirmed he is in the middle of writing a new movie, where it said exactly here, according to Mancini's comments at Steel City, the next Chucky movie will not only throw us back to those Curse of Chucky franchise reset vibes, but the plan is for the movie to also connect itself to the events of the television series and previous movies. Mancini is big on continuity, with all of his movies and the show existing an impressively connected single timeline. And that has been the ups and downs with the current state of Chucky. It is kind of impressive and awesome to say that Chucky has held on to one continuity since the first movie that is still continuing on to this day. You can't say that for many other horror slasher icons. I mean, Jason has been rebooted and is in limbo right now. Michael Myers gets a timeline change every couple years. Freddy Krueger went through the reboot. Funny enough, Chucky went through the reboot, a movie I don't hate and I will still defend to this day. And I will also hold some respect to because it led me to where I am today. But even Chucky survived a reboot and was able to push forward and keep his continuity from best moments to his worst moments to a television series to still holding all that today. That is awesome, but I feel like that's also held back Chucky in a way, and it's boxed him up, and it's also limited down the audience size. While there is still a number of Chucky heads, like people clicking on this video, that amount of continuity and things you gotta hold on together does deter away some people, and I think is one of the things that makes this new project kind of exciting. Why do I say that? Because this will be the first time OG Chucky will be back in theaters in over 20 years. Thanks to Bloody Disgusting, who gave us more information from their inside sources. They have it here. Bloody Disgusting can confirm all these details while also noting that we've heard Mancini's intentions with the new Chucky movie is to make it scary, throwback particularly to the tone of Curse of Chucky as well as the first 2 original Child's Play movies. The plan is also to bring this new Chucky movie to theaters rather than straight to television or digital. That's the thing I honestly wanted to know the most. Is this Chucky movie going straight to streaming on Peacock? Because everything now is about creating straight to streaming content, or will he actually be given his throne back to theaters and hopefully dethrone Megan?
Oh, little bitch, she stole my move. Fuck you, butt. 3 gun.
The first Megan movie made $180 million worldwide, while Bride of Chucky, the highest grossing Chucky movie, made $50 million worldwide. And right now, if I were to ask you, who do you think is more famous, Megan or Chucky? I think 99% of us should say Chucky, right? Well, the numbers right now tell us Megan is more of a moneymaker than our redheaded doll. And whenever Megan 2.0 flopped, that honestly scared me for the future of Chucky, because it showed maybe there isn't a market for killer horror dolls, and Universal, who owns Megan and these Chucky sequels, might get scared and go, you can have your Chucky movie, but we're putting it on our streaming service because we're not risking a box office flop. But I'm glad that isn't happening, and I truly feel it might be my Chucky delusion, but just the same way Blumhouse's Halloween and Michael Myers movie had a big box office boom, I feel that could be possible with OG Chucky if you market it right. This is where I want to go back to some of the other comments that they're making and calling this movie a reset. That does not mean reboot. That does not mean legacy sequel like we've been seeing happen to a lot of horror franchises. A reset, and they pinpoint exactly Curse of Chucky, which honestly was them steering the franchise back to what fans wanted, because we had Seed of Chucky, a movie I still don't like, but I respect those who enjoy that film and get a kick out of it. But it was the thing that killed the Chucky brand and lost him his theatrical release card, because his following movies, Curse and Cult, ended up straight to DVD. But Curse was a great great reset for the brand because it made Chucky scary again. And it also told a story that didn't feel extremely hinged to the past continuity of the movies. We would have appearances from Andy Barclay, flashbacks to Charles Lee Ray's backstory, but we had a new main character, Nika, and a new plot that was easy to jump into if you hadn't seen a previous Chucky movie, but was still much more enjoyable if you knew previous Chucky movie lore. That is what you have to do. You cannot make a Chucky movie where the main characters are the characters from the TV series. You just alienate a lot of your audience and you make them think that they have to do 3 seasons of homework if they want to go see the Chucky movie in theaters. So this wording of reset, I think, is again just doing what Curse of Chucky did, where they're going to tell a story with a brand new lead character, Chucky on a new mission, and that new mission will just also happen to have small plot lines that tie up probably the ending of the TV series, while maybe referencing a couple of things from previous movies, but being extremely digestible and easy to take on as a one solo viewing. And that might sound annoying to a hardcore fan that just loves the continuity and wants it to be so strict, but I do think that is just the best way because I want Chucky to be big and huge the way he used to be. But also, don't want to get my hopes up because we have heard this song and dance 3 different times. Again, these comments being made from these sources where they're saying Mancini plans to make this movie scary and a throwback to the first 2 Chucky movies is something we have heard multiple times. We heard it after what happened with Sita Chucky, okay? We had Chucky just jerking off and gooning. The character and franchise became a joke and fans were begging, can you just make him scary again? Why is he gotta be a joke character? And then we got Curse of Chucky and we loved it and it was great. And then I don't know what happens with Don Mancini. Love and respect you, my friend. Thank you for all the Chucky goodness you've given us. But as soon as he gives us scary Chucky back, it's like, all right, let's start making him do crazy funny shit again and ruin the scary vibes, leaving to more divisive views on Cult of Chucky that I still like, but it was leaning towards the silly route again. So where did that leave us? The TV series, where again, they promised the first season would be scary and a throwback to the feeling of the first 2 Chucky movies. And we got that. The first season of the Chucky TV series, really refreshing and fun adventure for Chucky with an interesting mission, a satisfying season, and we got our scary Chucky. And then we go right back into just over-the-top, silly nonsense.
This was, hold on. I forgot because I'm trying to get, like, remember everything what happened through the series.
And we go right.
The second season when they was in the school, that was
back into just over the top, silly nonsense. Chucky almost feeling like a parody to himself, down to Dr. Squeeze in his.
No. When I first saw this, bro,
since Chucky almost feeling
when I first saw this, I was like
a parody to himself.
What the fuck are we doing, bro? But then I started to like connect the dots. It's like, okay, he needs to see this doctor to like figure out what's going on with his soul being in the doll's body, cause like you don't know what's going on, like you don't know how you healthy, how you like peeing and all that stuff. So of course you got to see a doctor, bro. And what doctor gonna see a doll that talks? Like,
down to Dr. Squeeze in
Dr.
his
Squeeze
balls.
Is cool.
Turn your head and cough.
But what happens? TV series gets canceled. Less people watch. Less people get into it. And where are we left? Promising it'll be scary and like the first 2 movies again. I am tired of this roller coaster ride with the Chucky franchise. And we need to stick to a lane. Is he a joke, parody, funny little character, or is he the diabolical menace that happens to throw a joke every now and then? People think when I diss funny Chucky, I don't want him to make a jokes, or they'll bring up a scene from the first 2 movies where it's like, he was always funny, Chris. Yes, but his humor was so twisted, so dark, and was also a subtle personality trait of Chucky that only made him interesting. When he goes full funny and only the horror part is subtle, that's when Chucky doesn't work as much for me. And it's proof it doesn't work for a lot of people when we constantly have to remind people, this new Chucky project, I promise it'll be scary.
No one's touching his balls this time.
So it's not just making this movie good. It could be a success. It could get good
Oh my
reviews.
gosh,
When and
three
if that
seasons.
happens, take that as sign to continue in that tone, to
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
continue in that style, in that vibe. And don't let the sequel to that movie then be Chucky getting a boob job in a BBL and being like, why don't fans like this anymore? Which brings me to my next point and wish list with this. I've been very critical on Don Mancini's direction with Chucky because of this roller coaster of scary, funny, scary, funny, scary, funny. But through it all, I have to praise how he has continued to find a storyline or an avenue where Chucky remains feeling fresh and unique within all this
Yeah.
continuity. Although there's aspects of season 2 and 3 of Chucky I wasn't a huge fan of, story-wise, I do like the direction. Chucky in this Catholic boarding school that gave us some insight to his youth and how he was raised. Season 3 in the White House, like that was actually pretty
That was-
cool. And the
that was
deeper
fire.
lore with Damballa abandoning him and Chucky growing old, I loved all that aspect. Don Mancini has great ideas for Chucky, but I don't want him behind the director chair because I need Chucky to feel cinematic again. I need Chucky to have style
Ain't
and
no
a
shade,
personality.
being real.
I don't think Child's Play 2 would be this masterpiece. A lot of Chucky fans hold it up to be, like I do myself, where that is still peak best Chucky if that movie was also directed by Don Mancini, because
Yeah.
it would feel like a State Farm commercial, because that's what Chucky looks like to me when it's filmed. We need to go back to the days of like a Ronnie Yu with Bride of Chucky, where
Ooh.
that movie is just so stylized and makes Chucky and Tiffany just look so awesome. So much personality oozes off that movie, and I feel like that is also a missing
Yeah.
element of Chucky. He doesn't have that oozing personality from a visual standpoint. So with this new Chucky movie going to theaters, yes, let Don Mancini write a story, because I think he'll come up with a cool and interesting way to refresh Chucky. But let's get a director in there that can make it look great. Just my personal opinion.
yep.
You might
I mean,
disagree.
he's right.
Either
He's
way,
right.
this is what we have going on
He's
right
being
now.
right.
And at the
If
end of the
you
day, we got a new
recognize real.
Chucky movie in the works. I
can't
hope
be
they see it
biased.
through. I would hate for this to be one of those
If
horror
you want
stories.
something clean, if you want something done right, you gotta go out your soapbox to do it right. Like, come on now.
Where we hear something exciting, we got
on
details,
now.
and
W
it just
video.
vanishes, and we don't hear about it. But I throw it off to you guys. Chucky's coming into a new movie. What do you most want to see? How do you want?
I want to see the continuity be great, like how in a TV series in a TV series we was like finding out what's happening with Glenda, and with Tiffany and all that shit. Like that shit was so fire to see on a TV show, and I just, like he said, I just want to see Chucky being scary again, you know. But I can't wait. I can't wait for the first look of the Chucky movie to come out, and this will be my very first Chucky movie I'm gonna go see in theaters, and that's crazy to say, cause the last one was in 1992 or something. But W video, bro.